just MailChimped my marketing.
You MailChimped your what?
I MailChimped my marketing with AI to create an effective marketing campaign in minutes.
No, MailChimp and Way.
Yes, MailChimp and Way. Now I can hyper-personalize my campaigns across email and SMS.
You can do all that with MailChimp?
What did I just MailChimp and say?
MailChimp your marketing with the #1 AI-powered email marketing and automation platform, Intuit MailChimp. #1 based on publicly available data on competitors' customers. Plans vary. SMS available as add-ons. Visit MailChimp.com.
This episode is brought to you by Polestar. There's only one true way to experience the all-electric luxury SUV Polestar 3, and that's to take a test drive. It can go from 0 to 60 in as little as 4.8 seconds with the dynamic handling of a sports car. But to truly understand how it commands the road, you need to be behind the wheel. Up to 350 miles of range, the 3D surround sound system by Bowers & Wilkins. It's all something you have to experience to believe. So book your test drive for Polestar 3 today at polestar.com.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Sports are all about teamwork, and so is insurance. Whether you need an in-person or digital assist, State Farm is there to help you choose the right coverage for your home, car, and more. Get a game plan that helps fit your life and talk to State Farm today. State Farm with the assist. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability and eligibility vary by state.
No brakes, no fear. The official British Speedway podcast.
Welcome to another episode of British Speedway's official podcast. Coming up, reaction from Monday's fixtures in the ROWE Motor Oil Premiership as the Belleview Aces march on at the National Speedway Stadium.
Track rode good, boys enjoyed it, so Jamin got a 5-ride maximum bump. Obviously Brady and Dan only got 4-ride maximum, so they don't get the bumps tonight.
We'll hear from the two team managers Mark Lemon and Chris Adams for the Birmingham Brummies, who were on the receiving end of that big win for the Aces. We'll also hear from Sam Hagen and Zack Cook. Also reaction from the televised fixture which took place at Oxford between the Spires and the Ipswich Witches. And an unusual Heat 15 clash where Jason Doyle took out his own man.
I'm also expected is that when it's Jason touched me, so that's good. Everyone is walk to the pits.
Our main guest in this episode is British Speedway's newest rising star. Will Cairns turned 16 last week and he's made his debut at Championship and Premiership level already and won his opening rides in both fixtures.
It couldn't have really gone much better, could it? I just drove all the way to the first bend and I didn't really look back.
More from Will Cairns to come in the second part of the podcast, plus we'll look ahead to all the fixtures coming up over the next week on British Speedway's official podcast. No brakes, no fear.
No brakes, no fear. The official British Speedway podcast.
So lots has gone on over the last week and we've got lots to come in the week ahead, plus Will Cairns coming up in part 2. But first of all, we'll start at the National Speedway Stadium because the Bellevue Aces slammed the Birmingham Brummies 60-30 to run up their biggest ROWE Motor Oil Premiership win of the season. All three of the Aces heat leaders scored maximums. Jamin Lidsey taking a full 15 from 5 rides, whilst Dan Bewley and Brady Kurtz were both unbeaten from 4 outings, which was a 4th successive home match without defeat for Brady Kurtz. He's on quite some run of form at this moment in time, all things considered. Zack Cook also piled up 13 plus 3 from 6 rides as the home side coped without the injured Norrick Bladorn, whilst rising star Sam Hagen took the Brummies' sole race win in Heat 2. Let's get reaction. First of all, Bellevue Aces team manager Mark Lemon with Ryan Guest.
3 more league points on the board, 14 race winners out the 15. As routine victory as it comes really tonight.
Yeah, definitely what we like to see. Great performance all out. Obviously, Birmingham didn't have that much resistance, but I think that was probably more that we're riding well. So it's credit to our boys. Good night, blustery conditions, but track rode good. Boys enjoyed it. So Jamin got a 5-ride maximum bump. Obviously, Brady and Dan only got 4-ride maximum, so they don't get the bumps tonight.
So much has been said about your top 2 in Brady Kurtz and Dan Bewley. Nice to give them a rest from Heat 15 for a change as well. And like you say, Jamin Lidsey and Zack Cook fully deserving of their Heat 15 nomination tonight.
Zack's really come on obviously around the National Speedway Stadium. Obviously his away form's been pretty good before he came to the Aces, but Yeah, really, I'm really impressed with how he's progressing, and to go out there and obviously get a win in the Heat 15 is obviously a nice result for him, and I'm sure he'll go home feeling pretty good about that too.
A quick word on your skipper as well, Brady Kurtz, obviously flying in the World Championships at the moment with those back-to-back Grand Prix victories, 19 races unbeaten around this National Speedway Stadium as well, and someone you've had the pleasure of watching develop over the last few years.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to watch him. When any athlete's performing at the highest level, he's riding like a world champion. I know he's not world champion. We don't get too carried away with that. But he's sitting pretty in the championships, doing a great job. But we've got Dan Buell in here, so I'm sure they both bounce off each other. Even if they're friends, but no doubt there's probably a rivalry. But they spur each other along because I'm sure one of them's going to have to be better than the other at the end of the season on results-wise. But we're delighted to see them racing week out. The performance they put in on this track is sensational. It's blistering, and I'm glad to be a part of their ride.
And from the Aces point of view, back here against Leicester next Monday. Before that, though, a trip to Ipswich on Thursday night. It's going to be a top-of-the-table clash, and really keen to go and show that you've come a long way since the performance at the start of the season in the Cup as well.
Yeah, I tried to forget about that, to be quite honest, but we've got to go back there and show some resilience and put a good performance on. It looks like we're probably not going to have Norrit Balladoo down there, so we're going to have obviously challenging with RR and number 2, but I'll be reminding them of the performance back down there. They had their reasons, I had mine, and we'll see where we end up on the night. But obviously we had a good performance against the Witches, and that bonus point is up for grabs. And I'm not going to sort of sit here and say we're going there to have a win. That obviously we naturally try, but I wouldn't be that disrespectful to the Witches.
Mark, many thanks for your time as always.
Thanks very much.
Well, another tough evening for the Birmingham Brummies, who have had a few victories lately, of course, but this was certainly not one of them. Let's hear from Chris Adams, also with Ryan Guest.
As we saw again tonight, we were just second out the gates all night, and on the back foot from straight away. So it's a difficult track to come to, and they tried as best they could, but unfortunately today it just wasn't good enough.
From a team manager's point of view, and also the rider's perspective, it must be so frustrating as well, because it's certainly been a very up and down period, hasn't it, of late?
Yeah, it is. So if you look on the calendar now, we won, lost 2, so hopefully next Monday we'll win 1.
From the team's point of view, I think when you look down, you look at the 2 reserves. Sam Hagen has had a really good couple of meetings away here tonight and at Sheffield last Thursday, and Jack Smith coming in as a guest reserve last minute, but really plugged away for those couple of points he got.
Yeah, definitely. They've been. Sam's been doing really good over the last couple of meetings. I was really impressed with him at Sheffield, and he's got stuck in tonight, and Jonas has as well. I think he's the last 3 or 4 meetings that he's done for us. He's done really good. And I'd give him Heat 15 really, but I know we've got to come here again, and it was trying to get the other boys, to try and find something that's working around here. So I ended up giving it to Mate. But yeah, we've got to come again. Let's see what happens then.
A 2-week break coming up now for the Brummies. Plenty going on behind the scenes. Obviously, Ben Barker facing a spell on the sidelines, but Jason Edwards back in action now as well. So a bit to think about regarding the team setup over this next fortnight.
Yeah, well, there's always something going on here at Birmingham, isn't there? So we've got a 2-week break now, and a few things to think about and where we're going to go. The most important thing is that the club finishes the season out. So yeah, we've a bit to think about, and we'll see everyone in 2 weeks' time.
Chris, many thanks for speaking to us as always.
Cheers, thank you.
So there's Chris Adams, team manager of the Birmingham Brummies. As we heard there, it was a very tough night. There was one heat winner, though, for the Brummies, and that was Sam Hagen, who's also been chatting with Ryan.
Honestly, I thought we would have done better, but no, it's just one of those. I think a couple of boys may have had an off night to what they would have liked, and yeah, Belleview is a very hard place to go to. The track was a bit different, I think, to maybe what it's usually like, which might have caught a couple of us out, but it's just one of those nights. I think it didn't go our way.
It kind of sums up Birmingham season, particularly even since you've come in, you'll have noticed it as well. It's kind of very up and down. You never know quite what to expect from the Brummies.
Yeah, we've got some potential, 100%, but it just hasn't seemed to hit from anyone. Like you say, if one's going good, the other one's not, and then the other one goes good, but the other one's not. So a bit of bad luck, I guess, and just one of those seasons.
You were Birmingham's only race winner in Heat 2 tonight. You scored 6 points, rode really well, battled hard for your points as well. Add that on top of your 8 paid 9 at Sheffield last Thursday. On an individual note, it's been some encouraging couple of performances.
Yeah, it's been real good turnaround at the moment, and shame I couldn't find that sort of speed after in the sort of second 2. Just sort of the track changed a little bit more than I thought it was going to, and it went cold real quick. So bit of a bike more thing. I couldn't find a setup, and then towards the end I found something which was annoying because I felt real good in the last one. Just something I'd never tried in that engine either. So it was something quite cool to try different things. And like I said, we're back here in I think a month or 2 or something. So just regroup and go again. I think we've got a bit more of an idea. I think it was Birmingham's first time coming in this year as well. So we've got more of an idea for the second time we come here. So
how important have these last 2 meetings been for you as well? Because obviously at Perry Bar it's been difficult. Everyone knows about the track problems there, and it can be frustrating as a home rider. But for yourself personally, what can you take from these last 2 displays on the road?
It's kind of cool in a way because in a team point of view it's not good, but in a personal note of there's no pressure on me. I mean, it's sort of the team's losing, obviously not good, but then, like I say, I think I was near top point scorer maybe or something after a couple of them. So Alex, only rider who got a win, and then Sheffield, it was good as well. And I did have a good one at Birmingham, like I said, Monday, just didn't go my way, but it seems to be on the up. I had a good meeting at Berwick as well on Saturday, so it seems to be on the up for me and more consistent, which is the whole point of Speedway. So
yeah, and obviously there's plenty going on at Birmingham as always. Obviously Ben Barker now sidelined with that appendix operation he's had to go through. We've obviously seen Jason Edwards declared himself fit yesterday, guesting in the Premiership elsewhere tonight as well. But like you say, anything can happen at this level, particularly with Birmingham. So hopefully, particularly in these last 2 meetings, you've at least given them something to think about moving forward for the rest of the season.
Yeah, obviously I kind of thought Jason would be out for longer, but then like you say, he's got a chance at Ipswich now, so if Jason doesn't want to come back or if Birmingham want to keep me, it's a bit of more of an eye-opener. I think I deserve a spot in the Premiership 100%. Obviously at the start of the year I found a bit of mainly inconsistency, and I had the last 4 meetings, even at Oxford I didn't particularly score great, but I had a good meeting. I'm hoping I deserve to be in the Premiership. I'd be very disheartened if it wasn't.
Well, Jason Edwards made his return, of course, to Speedway as a guest in the fixture between the Oxford Spires and the Ipswich Witches. So we'll hear what happened there in just a short while. First of all, just round up at the National Speedway Stadium. Zack Cook scored 13+3. All the focus was on the 3 riders who got themselves maximums: Jamin Lidsey, Brady Kurtz and Dan Bewley. But also very much in the points was Zack Cook.
I think everyone had an awesome night and solid scores throughout the team, and definitely a nice confidence booster for everyone. Obviously we were without Norwich tonight, but I think we filled his spot well.
And on the back of that win against Ipswich here last Monday, it was always important to really build on that against a Birmingham team who have found it tough this year. Yeah,
definitely. I think I was probably struggling a bit last week with equipment and that, but I got it dialed this week, and everyone sort of can take some positives out of tonight, and it was a lot better performance than we've had for the last couple of weeks here against especially Kings Lynn. They pushed us probably a bit closer than we would have liked, but tonight was awesome for the team.
Quick maths, I think it's 13 paid 16 for yourself, so your best score since joining the Aces as well, and like you say, positives for everyone to take from tonight for the team, but particularly yourself. I didn't realise what I scored until after the meeting. I'm a bit bummed I dropped them 2 points now, but awesome night, and for myself, and definitely a big step forward, and just knowing what I am capable of here, and I was happy with tonight. Another home meeting to look forward to here next Monday against Leicester. Before that, though, heading to Ipswich, a top of the table clash with the way things are shaping up as well. Obviously, everyone goes back to that first visit of the season in the Knockout Cup. A lot of time has passed since then, and you boys will now be keen to go there and show just how much progress you've made collectively.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a while since we've been there, and they're a solid team, but hopefully we can come there with a bit more confidence this time around. Everyone's had a few more meetings under their belt now, so yeah, be a tough meeting, but I'm sure everyone's going to go there giving it their all, and hopefully at least get that bonus point, if not the win.
Yeah, Zack Cook, of course, racing against his former side in that meeting as well. Meanwhile, on Monday, we had more action. This time it was the live fixture that you may have seen on TNT Sports, the televised fixture between the Oxford Spires and the Ipswich Witches. And Emil Sayfutdinov held his nerve to collect second place in Heat 15 to seal a 46-44 win for the Witches at Oxford. And it was a pulsating televised clash in the ROWE Motor Oil Premiership. And high drama even in the final race when, with the Spires requiring a 5-1 to level the scores, Witches number 1 Jason Doyle was disqualified for triggering a pile-up, which resulted in all 4 riders coming to grief on lap 2. That meant Sayfutdinov had to go alone in the rerun. He duly finished between Maciej Janowski and Rowan Tungate to secure a narrow win for his side as they went back to the top of the table. The Spires had earlier fought back from an early 10-point deficit in an incident-filled encounter, but they fell just short at the end. Sayfutdinov scoring 12+1 for the visitors reserve Dan Thompson 7+2, involved in 2 vital 5-1s in the second half of the meeting, whilst Janowski with 11+1 led the way for the home side. Let's get some reaction now, including from a couple of riders that were involved in that little melee, shall we call it, in Heat 15. Maciej Janowski and Emil Sayfutdinov chatting to Abby Stevens on TNT Sport.
Magic, at one stage all the fireworks was happening behind you, but then it caught up with you, and it was quite a moment with all 4 down.
Yeah, I didn't expect what happened because I knew I closed Emil on the inside, and then somehow Jason was in front of me and four bikes on the floor. So sometimes this thing happens. So
we're going to watch it now. Yeah, we're seeing it in shot. So that was the moment that was a bit unexpected, Magic.
Almost. That was almost not. That at least anyone get hurt, so that's the most important. It was a little bit dangerous. Congrats to Emil and his team. Ipswich is on the top of the league. Really hard to beat, very strong team. And not today.
Your Oxford boys, though, put in a great showing. Emil, Jason clipped you first before getting Magic, though. But it's like Magic said, it's the best thing that no one was hurt.
I'm also expected to know is that when it's Jason touched me, so that's good. Everyone is walk to the pits, and it was tough, There's Heat 15 also always, and that's we try to push, especially scores when it's close, and every point is important. So I never see 4 riders in fall, so when I'm rolling in the truck, that's it's opened my eyes, just see 4 riders, is lying. So it was a big one.
It's like dominoes, and the fact is you're all big names in the sport as well. So it's like, oh gosh, we've got various Grand Prix champions just going down on the floor. But luckily, as we mentioned, no one's hurt. Both individual performances, though, picking up big points, both of you.
Yeah, good. Emil always been flying over here, and so I'm happy with my performance. Finally, last 2 meetings got some good scores, and I will try to keep going like that, and I'm happy.
So certainly a close one, and a bit of drama in the final heat as well, with all 4 riders coming down and Jason Doyle colliding separately with 2 riders, which I don't think many people have seen before, but all's well that ends well. Rider of the Night, voted for on TNT Sport, the Cabin Basta Rider of the Night was Peter Kilderman, and he's been having a chat with Scott Nichols.
Well deserved, mate. You rode exceptionally hard tonight against a tough team, so you must be happy to get this award for tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, they're a tough team, they're good from 1 to 7, but I think we put in a fair good show to try to run them hard, but it wasn't enough.
It was tough, and obviously when Ipswich just gone top of the table again, and when you're faced with a team as tough as Ipswich and Oxford have had an up and down season, does that kind of apply more pressure to you boys?
I didn't want to say, yeah, it does, you know. When the top dogs come, you really want to put in, but yeah, they were just better than us, really.
And it's great you see you racing in the UK again. You've not been here for a few years. You enjoying it?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad to be back, so that's brilliant.
And then where do we go from here? Obviously Oxford now still pushing for that playoff, so Pete Schrock is obviously going to be putting his foot up your backside to keep pushing even harder.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing is over yet, so we just need to push on, yeah.
So looking at the ROWE Motor Oil Premiership after those fixtures then, looking like this, the Ipswich Witches lead the way. They're on 25 points, 14 matches ridden. The Sheffield Tigers have one meeting in hand and they're 1 point behind, 24 points for second place. And then we've also got the Bellevue Aces also on 14 points. But Bellevue have ridden one meeting more than Sheffield on 14. And again, as I say, 24 points. The Leicester Lions are in fourth place. They have ridden 13 meetings as well. So again, a meeting in hand on two of the sides above them, and they're on 18 points, which is really not going to trouble the top three in any way at this moment in time. And then fifth place is the Kings Lynn Stars, 15 meetings ridden, 12 points. Oxford Spires in sixth, 14 ridden and 8 points. And the Birmingham Brummies, seventh place, bottom of the table. They've ridden 15 meetings, but 6 points on the board, so just the two behind Oxford. So down at the bottom there, still all to be ridden for, and certainly the Kings Lynn Stars will certainly feel there is still an opportunity for them to close ground on the Leicester Lions, but time is starting to tick for the Kings Lynn Stars. Now, Kings Lynn were not in action on Monday night. The weather putting paid to things on Monday night, so they were sitting on the sidelines and were not in action. But Kings Lynn were in action last Thursday. They headed to Beaumont Park, but it was the Leicester Lions who moved 6 points clear of the Stars with a 53-37 win at the Hydrascand Arena. The Lions took control with two early 5-1s against the Stars side, who were without three of their regular top six, but Richard Lawson and Chris Harris ensured they remained competitive. Lawson inflicted a rare home defeat on Max Frick as he ended on 14+2 from 7 rides. Chris Harris won his last two outings to end on 11 points. Lions skipper Max Frick totaled 13+1. Drew Kemp impressed at reserve with 10+2, and Ryan Douglas in double figures as well with 10. Let's hear from Richard Lawson now, back on his former home track.
Richard Lawson, you still know the way around the Leicester circuit. Great night's work for you.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. It was good to be back, and it was fun. The track wasn't ideal. I mean, obviously it's really hot and it can get dusty, obviously. But it was like I said, good to be back, and I've missed this place.
Tell us about Heat 15, 4th to 2nd on the last lap. That was quite some finish.
Yeah, I was at the back and I'm thinking, I thought I could get Kyle, just with the momentum I was carrying. I think he was getting a bit held up from the other two, and so I squeezed by him down the back straight, and then it was just a stroke of luck. Sam just straightened up slightly, and I thought there's a gap there, and it was tight, but the bike hooked up and we pulled it over the line.
You've raced with Max Frick a lot around here in the last couple of years. Tonight you've beaten him around here. That's quite a tough job.
Yeah, I actually joked about it on track walk. Somebody said, because I knew I was going to meet him in Heat 8, and I was looking forward to. Standardly, Heat 8 is an easier ride, and now it was going to be my hardest ride. And somebody said, "Yeah, you used to Max around there." I said, "Yeah, but I used to always follow him around. I was never in front of him." So pressure was on, but yeah, it was good. I like battling with Max.
Sure. Team-wise, obviously really difficult with 3 of the boys away today, 2 injured, 1 in Poland, so it's going to be tough coming here. But it was a credit to effort.
Yeah, credit to the guests and stuff. Everyone mucked in. We knew we were kind of behind it coming into it realistically, but we put up a fight, and there was some good heats and a good showing. There's positives throughout the team, but shame we didn't get any points out of it in total. So.
Could be a crucial defeat that. Time will tell, but certainly the fixture that's separating the Kings Lynn Stars and the Leicester Lions. Also last Thursday, Sheffield were in action. They had a hard-fought 50-40 win over Birmingham at Oleton. The Tigers went into that fixture operating rider replacement for Jack Holder, who was ruled out at short notice because of a family emergency. It took the home side until Heat 14 to secure victory, with the Brummies putting in a much improved performance compared to their previous visits to South Yorkshire. Let's get some reaction right now in a moment from Josh Pickering, who was in fine form with 14+1. But first of all, team manager Simon Stead.
Well, Simon Stead, particularly when you consider you lost the services of Jack Holder right in the build-up to this one. Certainly a case of job done for the boys here tonight.
Yeah, it was important to get back to winning ways. Difficult circumstances again. It just, like I said, we just can't seem to get a leg up at the moment. But look, some things are more important, and Jack's family comes first and foremost, and that's what's important right now. The fact that we managed to get a result without him is a bonus.
The boys all stepped up as well. Obviously, you look at Chris and Pico in double figures as well. They obviously stand out as the ones stepping up. But the likes of Anders as well, unbeaten from his first three against the Birmingham rider, and the collectiveness was there from the top end.
I think as a whole, they all chipped in and did their bit. So Chris and Pico standout ones, but Louis had a good night. Couple of unfortunate ones when he was having clutch trouble. He was in point scoring positions in those. And finished with a great race win. Seji obviously came to the party in the end when we really needed him to in Heat 14, and the rest of the boys have done a good job. A special mention for Will, stepping in and doing a good job at a difficult position for us. It's somewhere he's not ridden a lot, and riding Premiership is a big step up for somebody who's just turned 16 years old. So came in, did a real good job, got his first race win on the board, which was great for him, and sure we'll see more for him.
It was all about getting back to winning ways tonight, but I'm sure you'd still be the first to admit you know there's still improvement needed from the boys as we move forward.
Look, I'll just be happy when we get a fit 1 to 7. I think until that point it's going to be trying to get things over the line. So it's important not to put too much pressure on us right now when things are difficult. It's great that the fans are behind us. Still here in numbers again today after a tough one last week. So it's nice to get back to winning ways, and I still think when we're back and we've got a full fit 1 to 7, then we're a match for anybody.
Well, there's the thoughts of the team manager, Simon Stead. What about his team captain, Josh Pickering, with Ryan as well?
Josh Pickering, tonight was all about getting back to winning ways in the league, maintaining that 100% home record. Yeah. And even with Jack being ruled out so very late on, the boys still managed to get the job done.
Yeah, for sure. We can just give our best wishes to Jack and his family. But yeah, it was always going to be a tough ask. Thankfully, Birmingham hasn't had the strongest appearances either here or even at home this year. They've got a ride with some good quality riders, but I don't feel like they've completely clicked all at once when they've had to. So we're a little bit behind on the back foot early on, but the match was a lot closer than I anticipated it to be, even without Jack being here. And we had to dig deep in the end, and we only just won by 10 in the end, I think. So it was a good team effort. I know Louis and Seji got a 5-1 there in Heat 14, and me and Chris just got a 3-3 with, Toby was riding very well tonight.
And obviously yourself and Chris double figures, so people look down the score chart. Your standout, Anders obviously with paid double figures, he stands out. But like you say, for Louis and Seji, who keep striving for this consistency as well, to get that 5-1 in Heat 14, hopefully that gives them something to leave here tonight to move forward with.
Yeah, for sure, mate. It's hard. Speedway is very tricky. Last week here, I only got 6 points, but it wasn't for the sake of trying. Tonight, I felt like I didn't really do anything special, and got paid 15. So it's just how it is, and we roll with it, and we keep moving forward. But we now looked ahead to. I'm in Poland on Sunday, but a few of the other boys racing abroad also. But Kings Lynn on Monday, that's going to be a big test for us again. So they've found a bit of form at late, and they've got a good reserve, and we just need to hit them from the get-go, and hopefully Louis has another night like he did last time we were there.
It's something we keep banging on about as well, but tonight's win does move Sheffield back to the ROWE Motor Oil Premiership table as well. And when you consider everything the team have been going through, to be in that position, it kind of says just how well this group are actually doing.
Honestly, mate, I feel like sometimes we take a step forward and get 3 back, and then somehow we still keep bouncing out, come out on top. You can't keep a good team down. I've stated that already this year, and we'll continue to keep working hard for the rest of the year. I know that we didn't have Jack here tonight, and he would have done awesome points without a doubt. And I know the consistency with Louis and Seji, they're not happy with their own, no one needs to. We're all here to try and win, mate, and we all want the best for our teammates as well, and I know they're all trying their bums off. So one thing was good to see, though, was young William Cairns here tonight. He popped out and got a win in Heat 2, which was quite impressive, and I think he'll have a bright future, no doubt. But it is hard to cover Leon. I don't exactly know how many points Will ended up on, but he definitely wouldn't have outscored what Leon's been giving us all year, So rest, reset, and go again.
And they've had to hang on to go again because of that rain-off on Monday. Let's have a look at the week ahead in the ROWE Motor Oil Premiership. League leaders Ipswich host Belleview in a huge clash at Foxhall on Thursday night. Fourth place Leicester look to boost their playoff hopes when they host Oxford. And then Monday sees the top three in action as Ipswich visit Kings Lynn in the East Anglian derby. We've got Sheffield taking on Oxford in another televised encounter, and Bellevue attempting to keep building that home momentum against the Leicester Lions. That's how things look in the week ahead. So the Sheffield Tigers, as we just heard there, will be back in action on the TV on Monday night. Well, one rider who made his debut at Premiership level for the Sheffield Tigers, in fact, was William Cairns. And, just 24 hours before that, he made his Championship debut. He won both of his opening rides. We'll hear from Will Cairns, who's just celebrated his 16th birthday, and he's coming next on No Brakes, No Fear.
This summer, try the new Strato Frappuccino blended beverage at Starbucks. It's the classic blended iced coffee you know and love, now topped with a creamy layer of handcrafted brown sugar cold foam. Available for a limited time. Your Strato Frappuccino is ready at Starbucks.
You set the table, put on a playlist, even made the lasagna from scratch. And now you're wearing it. OxyClean Max Force Spray tackles tough, set-in stains the first time. Adulting is hard. Fighting stains shouldn't be. OxyClean Max Force. It's not clean unless it's OxyClean.
Jif peanut butter. It's that Jiffing good, it doesn't really need advertising. So instead, enjoy the calming sounds of the ocean. Jif. Ooh, it's that Jiffing good. Get your Jif at Jif.com.
No brakes, no fear. The official British Speedway podcast.
Welcome back. I'm Ian Brannan. Now, in this part of the podcast, our main interview is with one of the most anticipated rising stars for quite some time. Will Cairns turned 16 on the 29th of June, and he made his senior debut in British Speedway on the 2nd of July, racing for the Poole Pirates against the Glasgow Tigers. He came out and won his very first heat, and then came out and won his very first heat 24 hours later, racing in the Premiership for the Sheffield Tigers, where he was operating as a guest. But coming into this season, he won the British 500cc Youth Championship in 2024. Multiple clubs were vying for his signature, but it was the Poole Pirates that won out, and he signed an 18-month contract with the Pirates as well. Will, talk to us about that start then. Must be the dream way to start. You can't do better than come out and win your very first heat for the Pirates.
Yeah, it was crazy, to be honest. I kind of had to pinch myself a little bit, big build up coming up to my birthday, and it was just it came along real quick, to be honest. It did creep up on us quite more quick than we thought it would, to be honest. But no, we were ready at the go, and and to get a win in my first race in Championship, it's a nice way to start off my Championship debut.
Of course, you're no stranger to coming round to the tapes in big meetings. You've ridden in SGP3, for example. But how was it coming out onto that Wimborne Road circuit, making your way round and coming down to the tapes in front of a packed stand, as it always is at Poole, for your very first heat with lots of eyes watching you? And it was live on BSN as well.
Yeah, I kind of look at every race like it's just another race. It doesn't really matter who I'm against or where it is or anything. I kind of try and focus that, I'm here to do the job. I'm here to win the race. You mentioned the SGP3 and stuff, and to be honest, it wasn't really. It was a different kind of nerves. I think SGP3, it was kind of like, it's an individual tournament. For me, the nerves are always a little bit higher when it's an individual tournament, and there's a little bit more pressure on me when it's an individual. But yeah, I just kind of, when I came out, I was just like, right, we're here. I'm on track. I'm on my way to the start, and it's go time. You know, months and months of preparation, months and months of hard work, and we're here. And I kind of didn't want to make it obvious that I was looking at the fans on the way round, but they were all like cheering, and I was like, yeah, okay, here we go. Let's do this.
So then I guess green light comes on and then nature kicks in, doesn't it? You made a belter of a start in that first ever heat. Talk us through that first race of what you remember of it.
Oh, it couldn't have really gone much better, could have it? I absolutely drove all the way to the first bend, and I didn't really look back from there, to be honest. It was I love grippy starts, and Paul deliver. So I'm really fortunate about that. And I just revved her right up, head over the bars, and just let her rip, to be honest. It was a brilliant feeling. When I came out of the first bend and I was in front, I was like, oh, here we go. Come on now, Will, don't crash or something, please. But it was a lovely feeling.
Obviously, you had some more difficult races as the evening went on, but you did get another win as well. So overall, 8 points on it's paid 9, I think, wasn't it? On your first appearance at championship level for your new club. You know, you've got to be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, it obviously, when I'm in races with Anders Rowe and Carl Howarth, I'm not expected to win it. Obviously, like I said, I'm here to win races, so I want to win it. But just to outgate Carl Howarth, decent Premiership rider, I'm pretty chuffed with that, to be honest. And now I just got to try and defend from him.
Midlow will always say he just wants each rider to beat their opposite number, and so for you down there at number 7, you've got the respective other number 7 to beat. So you will feel confident of being able to do that, but I know that you'll not be happy with that. You'll be wanting to make your way up the team as well, won't you, and build on things as the season goes on now. Yeah,
definitely. It's kind of a bit of a sticky kind of situation, really, because obviously I want to win every race that I'm in, but at the same time, I know I'm in a team. I can't. Sometimes you got to just let your teammate go by, and then you come to the thing with the averages and stuff where you want to keep your kind of a really high average or a really low average, just so you can be guaranteed a spot in next year's team. So all of that, but yeah, it's Midlow will always say, like you said, to beat your opposite rider or rider number, and I did that at Paul, and he was proud, so I'm proud.
Yeah, and you know that with Midlow, he's not his first rodeo when it comes to bringing through some talent. You know the riders that have gone before. Obviously Chris and Jack Holder, and even obviously Brady Kurtz now is currently charging to the top of World Speedway, and he was in your shoes not so long ago. So there's a good progression, I suppose. And was that the reason behind, or one of the reasons behind choosing Poole as a destination for you?
No, I wouldn't say it was. Obviously, there has been some big names there with like the Turbo Twins with Darcy and the Holders and stuff, and just I felt like I was kind of at home as soon as I kind of set foot there. My first ever time, I went and watched a meeting. I was just like, the fans and everyone, it was amazing, to be honest. And I just kind of never looked back. I opted for obviously Poole's a little bit more of a technical track, a little bit smaller, a little bit more grippy, and I opted with that because I kind of choose a little bit of a easier track in the National League with Belleview, just a big flat out track, but Poole takes a little bit more thinking. It's not just all with the throttle. So I love the place now, so it's brilliant.
And it's been well documented, of course, you're working with Greg Hancock quite a lot, so it's no surprise that you're pretty good at making a start, because he was pretty good at doing that. And of course, he's a former Poole pirate himself over the era as well. So you've got a bit of wise advice in your corner as regards that. But and you're talking about making starts against the likes of Kyle Howarth and so on. But making a good start, it has been a key part of your education to this point.
Yeah, it always helps when you're working with a four-time world champion. But yeah, all you can do is give me tips, right? I'm at the end of the day, I'm the one dropping the clutch, so it definitely helps. And he's brought me along, and I'm kind of following in his footsteps at the minute. But let's just hope I can follow in his footsteps all the way up to them World Championships.
Has he given you a bit of feedback from your opening week and in Championship Speedway so far?
Yeah. We've been texting back and forth. I gave him a call a couple of days ago, and he's out in Poland he's in Sweden at the minute. With just got done with the SGP and stuff. So I'm seeing him tomorrow in my second under-24 match, which let's just hope that goes a little bit better.
Yeah, well, it's not. We'll come to that in a moment, because it's not all been plain sailing in your first week, and this is ridiculous. You've only been 16 a week, and you've ridden in the Championship, you've ridden in Poland and Premiership as well, because you rode the day after that for Sheffield, and again come out in a Premier League meeting, and yeah, it was heat number 2, but still the pressure's on there. Different track again. It's not a track you have a great deal of experience. Have you ridden at Sheffield before ever, or you've been there? In the national?
Yeah, I think I've done 2 National League rides there, but obviously it's at the end of the Premiership meetings, and it's a little bit more slick and stuff. So it was definitely a big learning curve for me.
Indeed, but that was obviously different there. You see, coming out in heats there where I guess I think one of the heats there, you're looking across and you've got Chris Holder in the heat. Obviously, would be a teammate of yours because you were riding for Sheffield. Then you got Mate Zagar, who was riding in the Grand Prix against Chris Holder, a number of years ago as well. So obviously, a different level of rider there in that one heat than you will have faced up to this point.
Yeah, definitely. But I started off of thinking, I think you said 3. I was 3 years old when he won his world title. So I started off when I came up to the 500s and stuff. I was like, oh, I'm with some good riders here, and I kind of got intimidated by them. But I've kind of learned now that I have the ability. I'm just lacking the experience of beating the likes of Matty and Chris. But yeah, it was definitely an experience, and I kind of had to pinch myself. I was in between Hagen and Matty, and I was like, what am I doing here? You know what I mean? So yeah, but it's good, and everyone's had to make that step. If you're my age or if you're older, everyone has to do it eventually, and I'm just happy I got my first time out of the way.
You're very grounded, Will. I'll say that, because obviously there's no shortage of people looking to big you up, and it's hard to keep a lid on that when you come out and you win your opening ride in the Championship and then the Premiership, I suppose. But that's what people want to see. But I know that you're always very quick to play things down and say you've got a long way to go and a lot to learn yet. But that's important, isn't it? Because you don't want to run before you can walk in the sport and become a victim of that.
Yeah. I just try and just take every race as it comes. I'm very thankful for all the fans and all the supporters that do give me nice comments and make my head go a little bit bigger. But at the same time, you've just got to keep humble, and I may be in a good spell at the minute with my racing, but don't want to jinx it. But tomorrow I might get another 5 lasts, and then my championship meeting on Saturday with Workington, I might get 4 lasts. I might just have a bad spell, and I just kind of I don't want to become kind of a Hayden Deegan of Speedway, if you know what I mean, where you're very big headed and want to flex all this stuff, and I'm just a rider that I want to have something a little bit about me, where I'm a little bit of a character, but at the same time, actions speak louder than words.
As you say, though, it hasn't been all plain sailing for you, because you had your 16th birthday, then you went to the Under-24 League in Poland last week, and you had a meeting where you didn't get a point, so that's, whilst we're celebrating the successes, you're right that it's not all plain sailing, and you haven't had it all your own way in every meeting anyway, so it's learning from those, though, isn't it? And now you go back to Poland to race. We're recording this on Monday, so on Tuesday, 24 hours from now, and you've got a chance to go back and put that score right, I guess.
I kind of had a bit of a bad spell, like I said, before my 16th birthday, and I kind of was just having a little bit of bad luck with injuries and just crashing and stuff, and I kind of went into that meeting with a little bit of like not having confidence, if you know what I mean, and I was like kind of not doubting myself, but I was just like didn't really believe that I was supposed to be there, if you know what I mean. So but I proved everyone and myself wrong on the Wednesday at Oxford, that I earned my spot there, and now tomorrow I'm going to go show why I earned it.
And I think since we last spoke, you've had a couple of bashes as well. You've fallen off, had some heavy crashes, and I think that when we spoke, you sort of said that there will be some of them to come, and then one came along, and so. But that can also set riders back, can't it? We've seen that numerous times with riders who are young, 16, 17-year-olds come in, have a big off. It just takes a couple of those, and that can really put a spanner in the works.
Oh, yeah, it always puts a spanner in the works, especially when I hadn't had a meeting since like the 18th of May, and then I went straight in to Under-24 League on the 1st of July. So it obviously puts a spanner in the works, and as a rider, as riders watching this, I'm sure they know where I'm coming from, where like it's a big mental game where you have to, like, let's say you get taken off in heat 1 and then you have to go in the rerun, and then like you're like still trying to get into the swing of things if you haven't been riding a little bit, and then you get injured, and then it is a big mental game, and but it wouldn't be Speedway without a mental game, right? So I think it's just the path of the course, and you have to just take it as it comes.
The mental game is a massive part of it, isn't it? Right from even before the meeting, making sure you're in the right frame of mind before you even turn up. But I think as well, in this day and age, and this is something that riders over the years probably didn't have to deal with, is you get the social media experts now who are no shortage of offering you advice when the going gets tough. And that can really mount up as well, can't it? And obviously, I think the best way to deal with it is to not read it. But nonetheless, it's out there. People are conversing now and have direct access. How do you manage that? What's your policy behind? Because you are active on social media, I know that, and which is a great thing. That's what we need to do. But at the same time, it can have its bit that bites you in the backside.
Yeah, definitely. Myself and my dad are kind of just going through that stage at the minute where I'm getting bigged up, and we like seeing them messages of like so young doing so good and everything, and it gives us confidence, and it feels nice, right, when someone's complimenting you. But when let's say you have a bad meeting, when someone says them nasty comments on Facebook or something, it's not very nice to read. So our kind of policy is my dad runs my Facebook, where a majority of the not wanted comments come from, and I run my Instagram.
And in Poland as well, particularly there, they can be brutal. Like to any rider, doesn't matter who you are. Even Schmarschlik takes some pelters sometimes as well. So it's that side of it is the other bit as well, isn't it? That we probably can't necessarily always manage what's being said there when it's been done in other languages too.
Yeah, but that's the best part about it. When it's in Polish, you don't bother hitting the translate button. You just I'll just scroll. But yeah, like again with the it's that adds to the mental side of things. It's that's probably the hardest part is the just trying not to read, because you get lifted so high and then you just get dropped even lower. So it's happened to many riders, and I'm just gonna put my focus on trying to not be one of them riders.
Let's talk about the other side of it, the bit we don't see. I know that obviously today, we've been chatting earlier, you've had a busy day, obviously sorting your bikes out. You had a chance at one point that you thought you might be riding in a meeting and then you're not, so you're juggling your diary. But then you're out going for a run. You've then gone into the gym to do some other workout as well. So this is all the stuff, the keeping fit element and keeping yourself in the right shape. You know, that is a massive part of Speedway now, and obviously increasingly so with the way things are going. And just talk to us about that side of Speedway that, say, there's a side that people don't really see.
Yeah, I think that's another reason with like the mental game as well. It's, you know, waking up at 6 a.m. and going on a run and then coming back and, you know, just doing your bikes and stuff. It is hard, especially when it's like in the depths of the winter when you need to actually crack on and do it. But yeah, I'm starting to grow to like it. I think it helps myself to kind of keep concentrating and just it keeps me light on my feet and just active. And I've started going on runs before my meetings now. I'm starting to copy Jason Doyle. So well, not as far as Jason Doyle, I don't think, but like a light 3K or something just before a meeting. I noticed that it lifts my mood. It makes me have like kind of laser focus and well, so far it's working. I went on a run at Pool, so I'm going to keep on doing that.
You went on a run after Pool as well, because you went around high-fiving the whole crowd, like hundreds of people. You know, it was that was putting an extra few Ks on your on your day.
Yeah, I wish I had my phone with me. I should have started my Strava. I would have EB.
$1 million question. Obviously, you've guested for Sheffield in the Premiership. Fans of Premiership clubs will be seeing your availability now and monitoring your progress closely, of course, because you are now available as a rising star. Any conversations happened yet in that regard? I know you've talked earlier, because obviously your dad owns Leicester, and a lot of people said, well, he'll be going straight to Leicester, but you've already said that probably won't be the case. But just update us on the Premiership situation.
Yeah, with the Leicester situation, I've spoken to Stuart and Jen and my dad, and quote for quote, I said I want to be fired, if you know what I mean. I want to be able to get fired, and if I'm not performing, fine, just drop me, you know. So and I kind of felt, and my dad's made this clear, that even if I did ride for Leicester, trust me, I'd still be able to get fired. But yeah, I don't want how do I put this? I don't want to, let's say if I'm just doing really bad, getting 3 rides, 3 lasts every meeting, and I don't want the fans to say, oh, he's only in Leicester because his dad owns it. Not saying that would happen, but I just want to rule that out of the question. But on terms of speaking with tracks and clubs, not many conversations have been going round, to be honest. Just kind of, I think, well, I'm hoping that they're waiting until I can prove myself a little bit more in the championship, and then see how I'm getting on, and then hopefully the phone might start ringing. But not many conversations lately.
Well, concentrating on the Cab Direct Championship then, you've got a very busy programme nonetheless with the Pool Pirates, and that begins your next meeting scheduled for Workington on Saturday. Edinburgh then at home at Wimborne Road on the 16th, and then a couple of trips away, back-to-back Fridays actually, Scunthorpe away and Redcar away. And then you've got home clashes with Oxford and Plymouth, a away trip to Plymouth. You've got Workington at home and then Oxford away. That's as it stands. You've also got a couple of semi-finals to cram in there as well in the Knockout Cup and in the BSN Series, and potentially finals as well still to come in this season. So plenty of action.
Definitely finals. Let's get rid of that potential. Definitely finals.
Well, no. I don't like to be too presumptuous, but we do seem to drive to Pool quite a lot in September.
It is what it is, isn't it? It's I say that, but you never know how the rest of the season's going to go. But we're going good at the minute. I feel like I came in at kind of the right time. Dale and Matt, they did a great job before me, and I've just got to keep up with what they did now, and just keep a level head, and then I can start celebrating when we win the treble.
Yeah, well, you never know. And what's your thoughts on the season so far? You know, obviously coming into this, you've been watching what's going on in the Championship and the Premiership. We'll start off with the Premiership. Obviously, you've got no horse in that one, apart from perhaps family connections with Leicester. But what's your thoughts on how things are panning out there so far?
Ipswich are going well this year, and Belleview are starting to figure things out. Leicester, they've been going good as well, but yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? And hopefully a couple more Premiership guest bookings under my belt, and fingers crossed next year I might be getting picked up by one of the top three.
You never know. I'm sure there's every likelihood of that, but I guess time will tell. And I think the main thing is just ride safe and keep yourself out of trouble, Will, between now and then.
Yeah, I tried to, because last time we said that, I ended up crashing. So
no, don't do that. Don't do that.
You never jinxed me.
No, well, got to say this podcast doesn't have a great record, but yeah, I think hopefully you've done your time on that one.
Hopefully.
But yeah, no, but I think, that's the other thing as well, isn't it? That sometimes, as we've seen, unfortunately, even this week with Daniel and Hume, that you can look after yourself, but sometimes Speedway has a habit of coming your way with misfortune, even though it's absolutely none of your fault.
Yeah, definitely, and we send our regards out to Daniel. We know him on a personal matter, and yeah, we send your best regards, mate. Get better soon. But yeah, some of the crashes that were just out of our control, and it's a shame, really. But again, it's Speedway, right? We're strapped with no brakes, so yeah, it is what it is. And a couple of my crashes, some would say I've been a victim of being taken out, but yeah, it's Speedway, and you just gotta put that behind you now, and another meeting tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, have a good one. Thanks for joining us, Will, and all the best with the rest of the season. And we'll see. We'll follow your progress closely. But yeah, good start.
Thank you. It's going all right. Well, catch up with me in like maybe 3 weeks or something, and then we'll discuss on how it's going.
We'll book you in for an update at the end of August.
Yeah. Perfect.
Will Cairns of the Pool Pirates, and British Speedway's newest rising star, shall we say, just a week over his 16th birthday at the time of recording this. Coming up in the final part, then, we'll have a look at all the fixtures that are coming up over the next week, and definitely update you on what's been happening in the Cab Direct Championship as well. It's been a fairly quiet week with the weather and what have you over the last week or so, but we'll have a look at the state of play there and what to expect in the week ahead in the next part of No Brakes, No Fear.
With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love, starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
No Brakes, No Fear. The official British Speedway podcast.
So before we go, let's have a look at some news from the Cab Direct Championship. We heard about the Poole Pirates and Will Cairns, but their opponents were the Glasgow Tigers. And the Glasgow boss, Cammy Brown, is saying that gating was the main reason that they lost out to the Poole Pirates last week. He was in no doubt over the department that his team had lost out in during that heavy defeat at Poole last week, ending 57-33 in favour of the Pirates. Other news from the Cab Direct Championship. Best wishes go to Berwick captain Daniel Hume. He's undergone successful surgery on his back after suffering 2 fractured vertebrae in a crash against Edinburgh on Saturday. The meeting was abandoned after the Heat 12 accident when Hume was collected by the bike of opponent Jonathan Graan in an unfortunate ending on the run to the line in what was otherwise a thrilling race. But best wishes to Daniel while he gets himself back fit again, which of course could be a fair while yet. Edinburgh Monarchs went down by 2 points at Berwick in that meeting, which was cut short with 3 races remaining because of that crash. Monarchs skipper Paco Castagna admitted the attention to Hume's injuries was the overriding importance when compared to the result. Eric Riss has been sidelined by more health issues which blighted him in 2023. It's also had an impact on his Premiership club, Oxford. He said in a statement that unfortunately since Sunday I've been experiencing a recurrence of previous health issues which are causing severe discomfort and are impeding my vision. I'm currently in the process of seeing various medical professionals with the hope of finding answers so that I can receive the appropriate treatments and return to racing soon. So looking at the week ahead in the Cab Direct Championship, Oxford in action after the mini break from the Championship racing when they host Berwick on Wednesday. After 2 rain-offs in succession, Edinburgh get back to Armadale as they take on Redcar on Friday, whilst at the same time Scunthorpe seek to complete a rapid double over Plymouth. Leaders Poole is scheduled to travel to Workington on Saturday. Looking at the Cab Direct Championship league table as things stand, here is the state of play. Poole Pirates lead the way. They've also raced more meetings than everybody else by once, but they are looking pretty good at the moment, having lost just the 1 meeting so far. 14 points on the board, 7 meetings ridden. They're top of the table. Second place are the Glasgow Tigers, who of course lost out to Poole in their last meeting. They've ridden 6 meetings, so 1 in hand on Poole and on 9 points. Behind them in third are the Berwick Bandits, who are going pretty well. They've got 5 meetings ridden and 6 points on the board. And fourth place is the Oxford Cheaters. They've ridden 6 meetings and 5 points so far. Edinburgh Monarchs have ridden 6 and got 5 points. The Scunthorpe Scorpions have ridden 6 and are on 5. 7th place are the Redcar Bears, but they do have a few meetings in hand on the teams above them. They've actually ridden the second fewest, Workington being the fewest, of course, but Redcar have ridden 4 meetings so far and 4 points on the board. So their position, if they win, of course, will be changed pretty quickly, but obviously they've got to win those meetings first, but currently they're in 7th place. Workington Comets are 8th. They've ridden 1 meeting and they won it, and they've got 2 points on the board. And the Plymouth Gladiators are bottom of the table currently with 5 meetings ridden and 2 points so far. But still a few twists and turns to come in the Cab Direct Championship yet, you fancy. Before we go, let's have a look at what's happening in the National League and the WSRA National Development League. This weekend has just 1 fixture, and Leicester host the Steelers at the Hydroscand Arena in Beaumont Park on Sunday. Meanwhile, in the National Development Trophy, Plymouth take on the leaders Kings Lynn at the Coliseum on Saturday. So not too much action in the National League this coming week. So the full fixture picture then, we'll run through them all in full. Wednesday, July 9th, Cab Direct Championship, Oxford Cheaters versus the Berwick Bandits at 7:30. Thursday, July 10th, ROWE Motor Oil Premiership. It's a round 1 clash between Ipswich and Belleview. That's at 7:30 at Vauxhall. Leicester taking on Oxford at 7:30. And that is a second leg, if you like. So Leicester are ahead 49-41 at the halfway stage in that one. Friday, Cab Direct Championship, Edinburgh Monarchs versus the Redcar Bears at Armadale. Redcar have got a 10-point lead heading into the second leg of that clash. Scunthorpe Scorpions versus the Plymouth Gladiators. Scunthorpe actually won away at the Coliseum, so it's 47-42 at the halfway stage. That's at 7:30, and that match will be on BSN on Friday night as well. Saturday, July 12th, Cab Direct Championship, Workington Comets versus the Poole Pirates at 3 o'clock. Obviously, an ever-changing situation, so look out for updates there. But the hope at this moment is for that one to go ahead. And National Development Trophy, Plymouth Gladiators versus Kings Lynn at 7 p.m. Sunday, July 13th, WSRA National Development League, Leicester versus the Steelers. That's at 3 p.m. in Leicester. And then next Monday, it's a big night in the ROWE Motor Oil Premiership calendar. We've got the Belleview Aces versus the Leicester Lions. Leicester, of course, were handsome winners over Bellevue in the first leg of that particular Premiership tie, so they're 30 points ahead of Bellevue going into that one. Kings Lynn Stars versus the Ipswich Witches, and the Sheffield Tigers versus the Oxford Spires, and that is at Ullerton, of course, but it's also on TNT Sport on Monday night. And that really covers things for the week ahead. We'll be back with another episode of No Breaks, No Fear before we have more fixtures further down the list than that. So have a great week in Speedway. The weather's set to be great. Get yourself out there. Get yourself to one of those tracks. Hopefully no rain-offs for the foreseeable. Fingers crossed. And we'll be back with another episode next week of No Breaks, No Fear. Have a great week.
No Breaks, No Fear. The official British Speedway podcast.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Lowe's knows July 4th savings are worth celebrating. Right now, get up to 40% off select major appliances and get an additional 10% off 2 or more select major appliances. Plus, get 3 Scott's Naturescapes 1.5 cubic foot mulch bags for just $10. These deals are coming in hot. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/9. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.